Uh, okay, it's been a very long time. Um, I realised I'm pretty sure in day number 5 I said September, which I think was a complete lie. I think it was December. I can't remember for the definite, but it seems sensible that it would have been December. But I'm back now to hopefully finish this off. Um, Day 6, I've opened up already, and I got a piezo buzzer. So I guess it's going to get noisy. I've checked my day 5 configuration, still working, which is fine. This was our 4 slot machine, or 4 position slot machine. First thing, looking through the instructions, I've taken the battery out. I'm removing all of the LEDs. The LEDs were in pins 1 through 4, I think, down to ground. We're also removing, or we are moving, the toggle switch, the push button switch, and we are taking the link away to ground from pin 8. Now, pin 8 is the penultimate pin on the bottom as we go to the right. Then I've actually made this one before, but the video has been lost. I need some more short wires. What I've also got is a nice length of wire with no insulation on, and a couple more wires, one with quite a small loop and one with quite a large loop. This is a wire maze. It's called wire maze. I think you've probably all seen these at some point. You need to get the loop to follow along the wire. So I've still got my positive in. I'm just going to run through the configuration quickly. So the switch is coming up from the top right of the switch. Let's just get this right. Is going into X22, and the top left is going into X20, meaning that the bottom left is in A20 and the bottom right is in A22, although actually that's wrong. I've missed it by 1, so I should have it going into does that side matter? Interestingly, no, that doesn't matter. So what does matter is that it's connecting X. So this link here is connecting, and then when we push the button, we're connecting down onto 19, which is the link that goes over here. Onto pin 11. Pin 11 of the microcontroller. Let's have a look. We've got this wire still in the same place, this wire still in the same place, this resistor is still in the same place. These, which I think were either capacitors or thermistors, maybe very small capacitors, I should probably double check and refresh my memory. The resistor stays here. This resistor down here is still in place, onto pin 8. And then we have, do we still have this on pin 6? No, so pin 6, that's removed. And what we put there instead is the finishing wire, which I'm going to bring around the outside of the board and drop it in below, and then inside, because this one needs to sit without moving too much. So It's very important that that doesn't touch this bare wire. And this bare wire is going to go into... Does this one matter? Oh, so it needs to go into something on J, but does it connect to anything? No. Okay. So I'm guessing a little bit, but I don't think that this right-hand connection is very important. I've put it in J19. They've got it in J20 in the instructions, but I believe that it's the other end that is the important bit, which goes into somewhere below pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, I'm not actually being too careful about getting it in exactly the same place anymore, because the idea is show you that it works and the connections and all the rest of it. So then we have the playing wire, which maybe I've done a little bit too short. I'm not very good at these anyway, so what I'm going to do is chop this wire to give me a short game. And I'm going to hope that I don't regret that on a later date. But here we go. So I'm still back into J20 and I'm into the 5th microcontroller pin. I'm making sure that this loop around here is not going to be touching that wire. And it's a little bit fiddly if you've got hands as clumsy as mine. There we go. Okay. And then, so that's my pin 5, and then I need a ground pin, which they've brought from 10, which again I don't think is going to matter too much. But 10 on the ground, so Y, that's the important bit, that it's sat in Y. And then this is going to act as our game loop, which is going to be a little bit tricky because we're going to have to bend things as we go, I think, but we shall see what happens. So we'll start with it not connected because we don't want to lose straight away. I'll just check if there's anything else. Oh, of course, we need a buzzer to tell us when we have lost. So the positive is coming in at pin 1, the negative is going down into, I'm going for Y2, they've gone for Y1. I suspect you could replace this with the light, which I might do, the LED, because the noise might get a little bit annoying, but I'm just checking that I've got everything else in place and that one there is not connected. So I probably should have made this loop a little bit bigger. Hindsight and all that. So all I'm trying to do is just bend the wire into a place that is not going to make the contact. There we go, it's sat a little bit up off the bottom, that doesn't really matter. As long as I'm careful when I'm going around the game that I don't allow it to move. So maybe I need to actually take that way out of the way over there, which should allow me to play a little better. Oh, that's okay, that's not touching, so I can see daylight all around that. And this one going back into the ground pin. And if we remember, this Y is not connected unless we connect it into the columns. So we should be okay to try it like this, I think. So pin 5 and 6 are inputs, which is why we're using this on pin 5, which is our input. So it looks like we're going to give this a go. And I think this is going to make some noise straight away. And perhaps There we go. Okay, so I had to reset it with the switch there, and if I contact, I lose. And so what I'm supposed to do is try my best to make it up and around. Yeah, I'm not very good at these. Oh, and actually, I wonder. I've got my final place was touching, so I'm going to hold that out of the way slightly, and I'm just going to prove, yeah, that's working. We come up, we come around. I can't twist that because my fingers don't work well enough. Oh, so I failed. So again, I'm gonna have to try somehow to get this up, around. No, I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't think that I'm dexterous enough. I could, of course, change the configuration of my wire. Yeah, there's the point that I'm struggling. But anyway, let's pretend that I got all the way to here, and then when I touch the winning section, I get a nice different tone. So we get here, that's the win, and that's on pin 6, and we have the fail is on pin 5. And I'm going to disconnect that a moment, and I'm just going to risk it and try an LED rather than a buzzer, just because I prefer something a little quieter. So I'm going to go with the red LED actually, because oh, interesting. This isn't going to work because it's only going to have one input. So there's an ever such a slight difference in brightness. So it's putting out less voltage when I contact on pin 6, and pin 5 is pushing out more voltage. I guess it must be running through a resistor at some point for doing that difference. We'll just check that again with the green, because I remember these are quite bright. So we can see that's nice and bright, and it is slightly more dull, I would say, coming off pin 6. So that looks to be how it works. I'm not going to reconnect the buzzer just for now. So that's day 6 for you. About time.